Welcome to Facing Cultural Differences, a series of episodes where we explore the challenges, lessons, and unexpected moments experienced by foreigners as they adapt to new cultures.
So today we are with,
Yuni.
okay, where are you from?
It's complicated,
Okay.
but like I grew up in New Zealand, but my family's Korean, so yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Two fluently, and then probably Japanese is conversational because it's very similar to Korean.
Okay.
But trying to learn Spanish, but where am I looking at?
How is that going?
Yeah, it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can order stuff and get around and have.
Yeah.
I can make jokes and stuff now, but trying to listening skills is really
Mhm.
difficult. So yeah.
Okay. And why are you here in Mexico? How did you end up here?
Well, the thing is, I want to travel the world right now.
Oh, okay.
And my first stop is Latin America, and I need to learn Spanish. So I needed to base myself in one country before I move on to another country.
Oh.
And I thought, well, Mexico seems the most unique, culturally, right? So, I stayed here for the longest time, and then I'll be going to Peru next month.
So you're like in an exchange program,
No,
or just
no,
decided
just-
to come?
Just decided to come because I can. I'm working remotely from my computer.
Oh, right.
So I was like, well, while I have the chance, I should see the world. So.
Oh, so you're not a student?
No way.
Oh.
I'm glad I'm in that zone.
And what are you working? Like, it's something here in Mexico?
No,
or?
my office is in New Zealand. I'm an
Okay.
architect, so
Wow.
I just need to use my computer to do, plans or planes. And so it's pretty easy.
And you told us how is like the educational system in New Zealand?
It's pretty formal. Do you want me to explain from primary school, like primaria? Or?
Primaria?
Yeah, it's probably the same structure. We have primary school and then intermediate. It's not necessary to go to intermediate. Some primary schools have middle school with primary school.
Okay.
And then it's high school. So primary, intermediate, high school, and then university.
Mhm.
But, university, I think recently more people are going to university, but depends what you want to do. A lot of people in New Zealand become builders or electricians.
Yeah.
So they just get.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I have heard that over there is it's not mandatory to go to university, and most people decide to go on those kind of jobs like electrician or that kind of thing.
Yeah, because in New Zealand, electricians and builders, and we call them tradies, people with trades,
Yeah.
and they get paid really well. And in New Zealand, unlike Mexico, which I was surprised, the government pays for a lot of the university tuition fees here. If you get a scholarship, I think it's free, around $1 a year or something. But in New Zealand, when I went to university, you have to borrow money from the government
Okay.
to pay for universities, and that's probably 40,000 at least New Zealand dollars, which is probably I don't know how much is in pesos, but yeah.
Have you had an experience funny or embarrassing here?
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Probably, but everyone's so nice here that when you make a mistake, they just laugh it off. They don't actually tell you that you made a mistake, and they just
Okay.
they laugh with you, and you're like, oh, I must have made a joke or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really know. It's not obvious where they.
Okay.
Yeah, but no funny situations.
And how long have you been here?
4 going on 5 months. Probably 5 months is probably closer.
And your parents are okay with you traveling the world?
Yeah,
They have no
well-
concerns?
Well, I mean, every mum, especially Latin American mums,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you should just stay home and be
Yeah.
safe and stuff. But no, I reckon they're probably they're glad that I am experiencing life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And well, for example, Christmas. I guess you live Christmas here, or
Yeah, I had Christmas here, and it's a little bit of a different experience. I didn't get to experience full Christmas because I was kind of sick during the day. But in New Zealand, Christmas is a bit more American. It's a bit more English, Western.
Yeah.
But here, Christmas is a little bit different. I think you guys have pinatas here for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
How do you say that? Las posadas. Are like parties? They have some context behind them. What's the context of las posadas?
Oh, yeah, that lasted a long time, a few weeks, wasn't it?
Okay, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
In the farm,
Okay, yeah.
But actually, one thing I realized in New Zealand, Christmas is pretty short. It's just Christmas and the night before for dinner party or something.
Yeah.
But in Mexico, it lasts 2-3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. We don't celebrate Christmas in my family, but you can see it in New Zealand,
Yeah.
more decorations and stuff. But here, you don't really see the same decorations.
Okay.
It's you don't see
The tree.
no Santa Claus.
Okay.
Not really. No.
And about religion, do you practice any religion?
No, but I do believe in a lot of things. I would say
Okay.
there's something, but I don't know what. And I mean, I'm not.
There
Like,
must be
there must be
something.
something, and
Yeah.
like no one really knows, right? So
Yeah.
kind of I take a little bit from this religion. I'm like, that makes sense, and then I take a little bit from this religion. I'm like, that also makes sense. And
Yeah.
then kind of, yeah. I mean, it's possible that all religions are like true. You just don't know.
Yeah.
It could be.
Do you perceive like in Mexico is there like a big culture of religion?
I thought there was like because always thinking of like like thinking about like Latin America, you always think they're all Catholics or
Yeah.
something, but not really. It's not really that strict from what I can see.
Okay.
I was pretty fluid here.
And can you tell us a bit of some cultural shocks that you might have lived here?
Not really off the top of my head, but actually, I was late today, but I'm getting used to the Mexican culture of being late. But in New Zealand, like maybe 5 minutes is 5-10 minutes
Okay.
is the latest you can be.
Yeah.
But here, you can be late maybe half an hour. But,
yeah,
but,
and that will be
It's
okay.
normal,
Yeah.
but I experienced this. But you have to plan a lot ahead
Yeah.
to be on time here, because when I take the metro, you never know how busy the metro is, or
Yeah.
if it just stops. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
mm.
So you have experienced all these transportation, public transportation,
Yes.
like the Metrobus, metro,
Most
camion.
of the public transport. I haven't taken the green bus yet, and that looks
El
hot.
RTP. Okay, yeah.
No air conditioning in that bus.
And about that, like the environment, do you think here it's like less contaminated or?
No, I think the contamination here, like we call it pollution. I think you guys call contamination.
Yeah.
It's really high here, and I sometimes I can't breathe. I feel like I'm smoking or something. But saying that, the street's pretty clean, depending on where you go. But central Koyokan area, everyone cleans the streets. You don't really see much the pollution
Okay.
on the streets, like litter and stuff. But I visited other countries, and I was like, it's definitely a bit dirtier than Mexico.
Okay.
Mexico does have problems with rubbish, but it's not that bad. Like people actually clean
Yeah.
a lot of their like in front of their stores, and
Yeah.
it's good culture.
And have you had like a bad experience with insecurity?
No, actually, I've been told that like you got to be careful with police because they're corrupt or something. But like police have been really nice
Yeah.
from what I experienced. Maybe because I'm in the center of Mexico, not
Yeah.
Mexico State. But I heard that there are some problems that you
Yeah.
want to avoid police at all costs.
Yeah. And have you traveled to other parts of Mexico or just here?
Puebla.
Okay.
Puebla was nice. It's very quiet, but food is really good in
Yeah.
Puebla, I think, from what I could
What
experience.
did you visit there?
I visited Cholula next to Puebla,
Okay.
but I visited all the other sightseeing.
Yeah.
They have really nice markets in Puebla,
Yeah.
but also semitas. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for making friends, have you find it difficult here or it's easy?
I don't know. Like personally, I think Mexicans are very approachable.
Yeah.
Like I had no problems with talking to anyone because I don't think there's any introverts here. Maybe there are, but for us there'll be extroverts. But like
Yeah, probably.
yeah, but everyone's friendly here, so you can make friends with anyone. Like you'll be like, "Do you want to go get a taco?" And they'll be like, "Sure." Like, yeah.
Well, and you have like this baggage of different culture being Korean and also New Zealand. So do you think that has influenced like you're being more approachable?
Possibly, but like one thing is this is a little bit of a detour, but
Okay.
Mexicans, I don't feel much racism. Like in
Okay.
English culture, there's
Yeah.
definitely like it's like the US. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
racism, but here like everyone like the funny thing is I don't look Mexican, but everyone's just like, "Are you Mexican?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "My face."
Yeah.
But no, so everyone accepts you here. Like no one like I mean sometimes they do the cheese sign, but that's not like attacking you.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah,
like hello. I'm like,
Okay.
"Oh."
I didn't know that was something mean.
Not really, but in like the context of in English culture,
Yeah.
it's they kind of do it like as a racist because all the
It's like a
Asians do
slur?
this, yeah. But in Mexico, it's just like kind of like hello.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
common actually.
Yeah.
And about that, actually, about racism, have people like stare at you or no?
Yeah,
at
but I
all?
think they're like kind of guessing where I'm from because
Okay.
like I'm quite dark, and they're like, "What's happening? Like,
Yeah.
you like Chinese, Korean?" But people guess that I'm Korean straight off the bat. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's pretty surprising. I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't think I was Chinese or Japanese or Filipino, but they said
Yeah.
Korean. I was like,
I think that's something funny here. Maybe we don't do it in a bad way, but most people call all Asians like Chinese. Yeah.
Same in every area, and it's fine because like China is like the biggest
It's the
Asian
biggest
country,
country, yeah.
and like we all have probably Chinese genes in Asia. Like,
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
maybe also people like might say like, are you Mexican? Because there are some people that have the same features, not necessarily because they have ancestry in Asia, but because of indigenous
Yeah, the indigenous
ancestry.
people sometimes look Asian.
Yeah.
Like it's I always talk about really weird things. But
Yeah.
the taqueria that I go to, there's a lady who she reminds me of my grandma. So like I always eat there, and it's like it's like abuela. But it's I don't know. Like one thing I like about Mexico
Okay.
is that everyone makes you feel like a family. Like I've met you once, but you're inviting me to your house to have like food.
Yeah. And about food, do you have a favorite dish?
Chile is like the best thing ever.
Green
Yeah.
or red?
Green. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit spicy.
Okay.
So yeah, chili is really good.
Yeah. Do you think you can handle spicy food? But because I think in Korea they
Very
eat
spicy.
very spicy.
Different kind of spicy. Like it kind of like
Okay,
it's like it kind of the Korean spice is more sweet, but it wraps around your mouth. But then
Okay.
Mexican spice is really shallow. Like it kind of punches you first. And it's like done.
Yeah. It like burns.
Yeah, it burns, but it disappears, right? Like
Yeah.
But in Korean spice, no, you like it just goes till you finish food.
Okay. And finally, if someone wanted to go like in exchange or maybe just to travel over New Zealand, what advice would you give them?
New Zealand. Advice, New Zealand. It's a pretty safe place. Like we don't really have many concerns. No one would pickpocket you or anything. So,
Okay.
but like advice New Zealand. No, nothing. It's pretty safe. Like,
Okay.
yeah, we have a Mexican politician in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Tijuana. But
Oh.
yeah, so I think we're pretty accepting.
And what does he do?
Yeah, he's a politician. Like
Just
the
like.
Green Party.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, not many Mexicans in New Zealand, but we do have some.
And over there, do you think the tourists are accepted or Latin American tourists?
We don't get many Latin Americans. A lot of Chileans, but and Brazilians, but yeah, we accept everyone as long as like people don't do anything stupid. Like say in Mexico, if you cause trouble, they will like point the finger at you and call you American or something.
Okay, I think that will be all for today. I don't know if you want to say something else. Or your social media. Your social
No
media.
tengo social media.